Good morning and welcome to today's project. We are out in the orchard. You would not recognize this from when I planted it this spring. And that's part of the problem. I haven't been up here pretty much since I planted these trees, and they're lost in the brush somewhere. So my goal today is to work on orcharding. Here, the garden orchard, the raspberries. My reward is the blackberries behind the shed are starting to ripen. So I'll get a little bit of blackberries to enjoy after I get all my work done. So what I'm planning to do out here is I'm going to track down all the trees. And I've got my weed whacker here, so I'm going to clear around them. I've got compost and cardboard to start mulching. It's probably going to take a couple of trips to get enough to do all the trees that I put in, and then try and do a little extra mowing just to clear this space. This mower struggles a little because this is really tall and thick, so it doesn't necessarily like to cut it, but if I can just at least knock some of it down and then just keep coming back once a week and work on it until it stays relatively reasonable. All right, so first thing is identifying my trees. Well, I am kicking myself right now because I forgot to hit start on the camera before I found the orchard. It was very impressive mowing, and I'm sorry you don't get to see it. The good news is I found all of the fruit trees. I planted 6 fruit trees, and I found all of them. The bad news is I only found 1 of the 5 redbud trees that I put in. And I think I know where one of the other one was. I think it was right about here, and I mowed it over. But I've got 1 little redbud tree just barely hanging on. So we're going to clean this up. We're going to give it a load of compost and some cardboard and some more compost, and hopefully protect it so I don't do this again. All right, I have 2 trees left to finish compost. That one and that one out there. And then I need to mulch all of them. So I'm going back to the house, A, to charge up the mower because I'm down below half power, and B, to get the compost and the mulch that I need for my next batch. So that gives me half an hour to take a break, and taking breaks is important, but then this will be done. It's funny, if you stand over here, you can see where that redbud tree was supposed to be. Just right in the middle there, just a big hole. So I actually probably should put 2 trees in there, but not this year. I think we may be too late for fruit trees. Well, no, I can put stuff in the fall, and I may do that, and I may do some of my expansion, but I'm not going to worry about anything right now. Right now, these 6 trees are my, well, 7, including the redbud, are my priorities out here, and they're the ones that are going to get the attention. So let's head back to the house. All right, and that's done. Is it the best way to manage this? Maybe not. I mean, I could have planted the roots and the seeds a little better than I did, but you get nothing from the seeds that you don't plant. So at least now there's a chance that I might get something. All of the squash varieties I selected, all are ready in under 100 days. So theoretically, if we don't have a hard freeze before Halloween, I could get some squash out of these. But if I don't, that's fine. I just want it for the vines. And as long as we get vines, then I'm happy. We're supposed to get rain tonight or tomorrow, so I'm not going to worry too much about watering. And like I said, I'll come back this weekend, mow again on a lower setting, check everything over, and start keeping a better eye on things up here. All right, we're done here. I'm going to go back to the house. I got to pack up all the stuff that I brought up here, and we're going to do this again on the garden orchard. All right, the garden orchard is actually a lot easier because half of the plants in here I put in, and I put in using this method. So I've got 4 apple trees along here that were put in by the previous owners. So those I need to clean up around it and do the compost cardboard, compost mulch process. But the others, I've got 2 blueberry bushes and then a bunch of half a dozen grapevines. And those really just need cleaning up. I may or may not put more cardboard down, and I want to widen it so it's a little easier to get around with the mower without worrying about hitting anything. So that's my project now. So I'm going to hit these with the weed whacker and we'll get it cleaned up and get started. I'm done. I almost quit a couple of times towards the end there because it was so humid today. We never did get the rain that we were promised. Supposedly we're going to get thunderstorms tomorrow with chance of flash flooding. So we'll see what happens. But at least it's done. And I have a better sense of my fruit orchard at the moment. The apple trees at that end are much more sparse than the ones on this end, so I'm going to give them some extra attention, maybe some added fertilizer and such. Interestingly, the 3 grapevines that I got from Stark Brothers are not doing great. One of them has nothing on it, and the other 2 have like 1 leaf. Whereas the grapes I got from the Soil and Water District, they're not huge, but they're well leafed out and they seem to be doing just fine. And they both had about the same amount of benign neglect. So, tells me something about the Stark Brothers stuff. Not that it's not good, but you have to be willing and able to pay attention to it. It was a big haying day. There were hay wagons going back and forth. So if you saw one in the video, I hope you made a wish on it. And what else? I can't think of anything else. I hope you had a lovely 4th of July and celebrated it in whichever way feels appropriate to you. And I'm going to go kill a cat who is digging up my new strawberries. Get out of the cat! Ooh, pardon me. Absolute jerk. But anyway, speaking of absolute jerks, the groundhog is doing his business again. So I was talking to the neighbors about it and they offered me their have-a-heart trap. So I have a have-a-heart trap set up over there. And if I catch him, I already know I'm going to take him way down the road to the old dump and let him go there. It's not a dump anymore. It's a field and it's lovely and he'll have a marvelous time not eating my vegetables. All right. Anything else? I can't think of anything else. I am hot and sweaty and hungry and tired, so I am going to go in and celebrate the 4th of July with a cold shower. And I hope you're able to celebrate in whatever way seems best to you this year. And I hope you'll come back tomorrow and see what we get up to then. Take care, everybody. Good night.